My girlfriend said the past doesn't matter, so I told her that I slept with her sister. Now she's furious, and we broke up. I have a new girlfriend now, and we've been together for 6 months. She recently went on vacation with her family, and when she got back, she showed me some pictures they took, and I recognized her sister. It turns out her sister and I used to be friends with benefits back in college. It wasn't anything serious, and it didn't even last long, less than 3 months. This happened about 2 years ago. I didn't know it was her sister because I never knew her sister's last name. Now here's the part where I'm feeling a bit conflicted. My girlfriend has a male friend who makes me a bit uncomfortable with how close he is to her, and he's a bit of a flirt. I tried to talk to my girlfriend about it and asked if she ever had anything with him. It wasn't a deal breaker, but I still wanted to know. She said the past is the past, that she's not going to tell me what she did before, and she doesn't want to know what I did before her. I'm feeling conflicted because of this. I feel like I should tell her because I'm sure her sister would tell her anyway. But this might be the petty side of me talking. She said she doesn't want to know, and the past is the past, right? Relevant comment. I understand both sides, but the fact that you're on different pages is a problem. This isn't something that will go away with time, and it's also not something you can just agree to disagree on. If it was anyone else except her sister, then okay, she doesn't want to know. But what happens when you and her sister are in the same room? Are you both going to lie? What if her sister decides to tell her? The whole situation is a dramatic mess, and it's only been 6 months. If you want this relationship to last, you need to be honest and transparent. She also needs to be aware of your concerns about the other guy. She can be friends with him, but the friendship needs to be respectful. Simply saying, "Don't ask me about my past" won't work, because her past is in her present, and she's not doing anything to stop it from being in her future. My advice is to sit her down and tell her that you take your relationship seriously and see a future with her. You hope she does too. But to have a healthy and strong relationship, you both need to be honest and transparent. Tell her that you don't trust the guy. It's not that you don't trust her, but him. You hope she respects and understands this. You also need to share some important information with her. Remind her that you brought this up before, but her stance was that she didn't want to know. Explain that even if she doesn't want to know, she needs to know because it will eventually come out, and you don't feel comfortable having secrets as the foundation of your relationship. Tell her and let her react because trust me, she's going to have some feelings about it. If she can't get over it, I'm sorry, but it's better to know now than in 1, 2, or 5 years. Update. Things did not go well when I tried to tell her. I asked her if she remembered what she told me about past experiences, and she got mad at me. She said, "I already told you the past doesn't matter." I tried to explain that this was really important, and she told me that she promised herself she wouldn't be with someone who was insecure about who she'd been with or her number of partners. She told me I needed to grow up. Then I just blurted out, "I slept with your sister." After some silence, I explained everything and how it happened before we met. She didn't take it well. We had a long talk about how comfortable she would feel, what would happen when I met her family, and what if her parents or the rest of her family found out. Could she really handle being at the altar with me, with her sister standing next to her, knowing that her sister and I slept together? She told me she just felt gross. Now she said she didn't know if she could shake this feeling, so we decided to break up. I don't know, this was just a mess. Story 2, my fiancé, 24-year-old male, and I, 24-year-old female, have been dating for 6 years. He proposed to me a few months ago, which was the happiest moment of my life. We set our wedding date for this December. However, after what happened last night, I'm seriously considering breaking up with my fiancé and unsure if I'm being irrational. My fiancé, my brother, and I were all walking back to our car after dinner at a nice restaurant. The car was parked pretty far away since the place was packed, so we had to walk quite a distance. It was late at night, and as we were walking, a person on a bike came up to us, stopped us, and demanded we hand over everything we had. My fiancé panicked and just ran away, but my brother, after talking to the man for a couple of minutes, just attacked him, and long story short, my brother beat him up. The man had no weapon, it was just a fake gun. I called my fiancé after that and told him everything was fine and that we'd pick him up. My fiancé still seemed a bit shaken, but I explained that everything was okay, and he thanked my brother a lot. However, I just felt extremely weird and somewhat disappointed that my fiancé had just run away. I understand it was his natural instinct, but seeing my brother take down the attacker and comparing it to my fiancé just running away, I feel like I lost a lot of love for him after last night. I spoke with my brother this morning to get his opinion, and he said I should still give my fiancé a chance, and that my fiancé loves me, and what happened last night is not a normal occurrence. However, I told him I just got a huge shock, and I don't think this shock will ever go away. Am I being irrational? Some comments. Whether the change in your feelings about your fiancé makes you irrational or not, you wouldn't be doing either of you any favors by staying with him out of guilt. You feel what you feel. Update. I have broken up with my fiancé. I did it quickly because it wasn't fair to him or to me to keep this relationship going when my heart was no longer in it. Yes, I loved him a lot and will always cherish the memories I had with him, but after the incident last night, I just don't have that same love for him anymore, and I don't think I ever will. To be clear, I don't blame him for what he did by running away. It was his natural instinct, and I completely understand that. But when my brother instinctively stepped in front of me to shield me from the attacker, and in comparison, my fiancé just ran away scared, it pretty much evaporated most, if not all, of my feelings for my fiancé. I've just learned about myself that one of my love languages is safety and security. I let my fiancé know, and I apologized, and I told him that I don't blame him at all for what happened the previous night. My fiancé was devastated, and he did cry a lot, but after some time, he said he understood my decision. I still feel really guilty about it because my fiancé is a very kind and sweet man, but it wouldn't be fair to him if my heart wasn't in it. He deserves to be in a relationship with someone who loves him for who he is, and I deserve to find someone who I wholly love. Story 3. I'm typing this in a mix of fear and nerves. I'm the youngest 22 of 5 kids, 30-year-old male, 28-year-old male, 28-year-old female, 25-year-old female. My parents are very religious, and we live in Utah. Growing up, everything had to be done perfectly: grades, looks, social activities, even friends. I'm different from my siblings as I was never interested in math and science like they were. I've always been the writer, the painter. I remember once when I was 13, I made a painting of a dove in a snowy field and won first place in a competition. I told my parents, who got angry that I had wasted my time on something so worthless when I should have been using the time to study. Yet I had A's in every class. My mother barely speaks to me. She always seems like she hates me, and I don't understand why. My father burned the painting to remind me of what was truly important before taking all my art supplies away until I showed more responsibility with my time. It's been like this as long as I can remember. I've worked full-time since I was 15 at McDonald's, saving every bit of money I could. My father took half of my checks as responsibility to help teach me what being an adult was like. I applied to several colleges, but my parents told me they wouldn't help me with tuition like they did for my siblings because they thought sending me to college would just be a waste of money. So I got angry. I am so tired of being the black sheep just because I like the arts more than math and science. Then I heard them talking in the middle of the night about the perfect man they had found who was willing to take me in through our church. I am terrified, so I'm leaving. I've saved some money, a good amount, and I'm leaving the country. I found a job that lets me work remotely doing freelance design work, and I've had my passport since I was a kid because of our family vacations overseas. I'm taking nothing other than a change of clothes, my laptop, and important documents I took from my father's office. I booked a flight that leaves in 5 hours, and I'm never coming back. I'm not even going to take my phone since I need to get a new number anyway. My best friend, bless her, has been the one booking everything and getting it all ready since I couldn't tip off my parents. She's also smuggled some of my more important things that I can't take to hold on to for me. She's parked down the street, and I'll leave with my smallest suitcase to meet her. I don't know how they'll take this. I'm terrified they'll find a way to drag me back or track me down. They went to bed over an hour ago, but I'm too anxious to sleep. I don't know if I'll have any updates, but I just hope they don't stop me. Update: wow, so much has been happening lately that it's kept my head spinning constantly. I'll start with the good part of the update before moving on to the less happy bits. So I was advised to remove the location and destination from my post, so all I will say is that I'm in South Africa right now, and it's amazing. The food is astonishing, and someone here recommended I try bunny chow, which is authentic curry in a bread bowl. It was phenomenal. I got to chatting with one of the hotel staff who is about my age, and we really hit it off. She went with me to a local shopping center to get some new and better clothes. At least I'm used to wearing dresses, so that doesn't faze me. Here, they're very lightweight and breathable, unlike a lot of US dress fabrics. She also told me to always shake out my shoes every morning just in case. I've started apartment hunting, and it's well within my budget, like, incredibly cheap compared to how expensive it is in the US. It's honestly jaw-dropping, like $81 for a studio apartment with a loft and kitchenette. So yeah, housing won't be an issue. It's a bit odd house hunting for myself when I've always lived with my parents. Now, on to the less pleasant bits. I finally opened the emails, deciding it was best to probably get it over with. My father's email was filled with anger, there's no other way to put it. He said that by taking off irresponsibly like I did, I cost them the friendship of someone they had planned on introducing me to. He never admitted that it was the 53-year-old they had basically sold me to. Father stated that because of the social relations that had been damaged and impacted by my actions, I owed them approximately $85,000 in reparations. He also claims that he will take me to court if I don't pay it in full within 30 days and return home, as I obviously cannot be trusted. I plan to ignore that as I believe him to be bluffing. He ended his email rant with, "You belong to me, and I won't tolerate such defiance after we've put a roof over your head and taken care of you your entire life. You were never the child we expected. It's time you make up for your deficiencies. I expect you home within the next 2 weeks." My siblings' emails were basically copies of my father's email, admonishing me for throwing our parents' efforts in their faces before running off like a coward, unwilling to face the fallout of my actions. I skimmed them, honestly, before just deleting them. It was nothing I didn't expect. However, my sister-in-law, who's married to my eldest brother, sent her own email before asking me not to reply, as she would be deleting every sign she sent it from her end. She congratulated me on stepping out on my own and getting away from my parents and their demands. She said that she herself hadn't been strong-willed enough to stand up to her parents when they basically betrothed her to my brother, which makes sense, as I remember they met and then married within 6 months, and even then, I thought that was a bit strange. She pleaded with me not to return and not to reply. That was it. It was a bit unnerving, honestly, as I do believe her, and I'm sad that she's stuck the way she is. The last email was from my best friend. She said that the morning after I flew out, my parents had been on their doorstep demanding to see me. Apparently, they believed I was hiding with her. They refused to leave, screaming for me to stop pretending I wasn't there. It caused enough of a scene that the police were called, but they only talked to my parents briefly and let them leave. It really angered my friend, who wanted them arrested for threats and trespassing. The police only claimed that there wasn't a pattern of behavior that would warrant them being arrested and charged before just leaving. She doesn't know when they realized I wasn't there at her house, but they haven't come back, thankfully. However, word has spread about me fleeing the safety of my parents' home and how they wanted me to return as they were concerned and fearful of what may happen with me out on the streets alone. The church ward has actually done searches of the area trying to find me. I don't know what they'll do from here, but they have no idea I left the country, let alone the state. My friend has no plans to say anything, and neither do I. As far as I'm concerned right now, they can live with that state of wondering for the rest of eternity. I don't think I'll renounce my US citizenship, as there may come a day when I need it, and it's better to be safe than sorry. But I have full plans to gain dual citizenship as soon as I am able to. That's it for now, no other parts yet, but if anything changes, I'll let you know. I want to thank all of you for your comments and private messages. It feels like I've got friends and family on my side, and I cannot tell you how much that means to me. Truly, thank you all of you. Update, so much advice and support from everyone. I cannot thank you all enough. I thought with all the comments and questions, I'd answer here and explain what's happened since my last post. Ironically, my use of maths instead of just math comes from my mother, who is British, and met my father in England when they were 22. So I come by it naturally, and my siblings say it that way as well. Thank you for drawing my attention to the videos broadcasting my story, though why they changed the name I don't know. I did report them, but we'll have to see if they ever pull the videos down or at least edit them. Second, people were questioning why I chose South Africa and Johannesburg of all places because of how dangerous it can be. I do understand the risks, but there is nowhere on this planet that is inherently danger-free. Africa is massive and incredibly diverse. Finding someone would be very difficult. And because those videos got so much attention, I have left Johannesburg sadly, and very far, though obviously still in Africa. The area I'm in now is incredibly safe and came highly recommended by several people. Settling here will be very comfortable, and the people are wonderful. I may even attend the university here and get a degree. I haven't replied to the emails, but I have saved them and printed copies and laminated them just in case. I will not be renouncing my US citizenship, and my passport is good for another 8 years. I don't hate religion, regardless of what it is. In my eyes, a person's relationship with God is incredibly personal. If a person connects with him via camping, walks, long drives, listening to music, acts of service, that's their choice, and it's just as valid in my opinion as sitting in a pew. Possibly more, if they're honest with themselves instead of just putting on a false face for the public eye. I plan on ignoring any further emails from my family, other than printing them out just in case. They've made several phone calls to my friend, who's had fun with them. The first time your father called, yelling that I hand you over, I pretended to be scared and gave him your location. It took him to a strip club. He came back screaming about how I had embarrassed him. I just hung up. Honestly, she did that each time they called, giving a different location every time. Her favorite was sending my parents to a nudist retreat. Apparently, my mother passed out. My friend is looking to move and eventually plans to join me, but will jump around a bit so they don't follow her to me. I finally read my uncle's email, but it was just a copy of my father's with the added comment that he and his fellow officers would be looking for me to bring me home safe before I got myself into trouble and hurt. I am being watchful, and I know better than to wander into dark alleyways and abandoned places. That's all I've got for now. If anything changes, I'll let you all know. It's heartwarming to see and read how many people are on my side. I've actually begun printing out everyone's messages and comments to put in a binder I can look back on later. Truly, thank you all of you. Update, hello everyone. It's been a while since my last update, and a few things have happened that my friend told me I needed to share since everyone is clearly still rooting for me. I have settled in a bit here and am now enjoying the fun of paperwork. So much paperwork. I have secured an apartment, and while it has 2 bedrooms, one is for my friend when she comes to join me. I've made a few acquaintances here locally, and I'm beginning to stand on my own a bit. My biggest challenge has been dealing with feeling uncomfortable because I don't know all of those unspoken rules the way I did in the US. As such, I'm constantly second-guessing myself, but hopefully that will fade with time. One of the elderly neighbors I've been talking to a lot since I moved here has also invited both of us to spend Christmas with her and her family. They're going to have goat as the main meat, which is different, but I'm excited to try it. It's odd not seeing Christmas trees everywhere, but that's still a new thing here, so it's not common. But her granddaughter is teaching my friend and me some of the dances we'll be doing since Christmas celebrations here are more like a festive party and gathering rather than a slow day spent just giving gifts. It's strange because even in my family, we'd only ever get 3 gifts, one for our body, one for the mind, and the last for the soul, to honor the Trinity, according to my parents. Last year, I think I received a new Sunday dress, a set of physics textbooks, and a new journal for my scripture reading. After opening gifts, we'd each retreat to our rooms and remain there until dinner was ready, usually made by my mother and me. Here, however, they're planning on doing our hair, having dances with music, food, and laughter. Gifts are still given, of course, but the day is spent more with those around you than on material things. I'm excited. I've decided to ignore my family for now. I've gotten a lot of questions about why I didn't report them or confront them, and the answer is easy and may seem a bit childish, but the thought of facing them like that terrifies me. I just don't want to be around them, talk to them, or think about them. I'm genuinely scared that trying to bring justice will only drag me right back into the mess I ran from. I'm 22, and yet I'm terrified of my own family. So that's why I'm not doing anything to them. I just want to pretend, even if only for a bit, that my life isn't messed up and abnormal, if that makes any sense at all. I don't know where I will be a year from now, but somehow the thought doesn't worry me. I'm happy, genuinely happy, and excited to see where things will go from here. Thank you, everyone, truly. I mean it. Looking back, it's mind-blowing how things have changed, and there is still so much I get to do. I know there are people here from all over the world. I'd love to hear your holiday traditions. I don't care if it's not Christmas, I just love to hear what you do this time of year and your traditions. I'm trying to figure out my new normal and what I like, so I'd love any suggestions, be it food, music, dances, anything really. Thank you so much for watching till the end. If you really like our videos, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Have a good day.